Hello guys and welcome to a new episode of the Football Show. As today we're going to talk about yesterday's Premier League games and also give some other competitions. And also we're going to talk about today's Premier League games. So let's get started. Let's start with the Premier League yesterday. Chelsea drew 2-2 with Leeds United. A very, very disappointing draw for Chelsea, considering they were 2-0 up, goals from João Pedro and Cole Palmer. And Chelsea looking really, really good. I mean, they absolutely dominated Leeds United, particularly in that first half. They should have been more than 1-0 up, and they were cruising control, but they then killed the game off, and they gave a chance for Leeds United to still be in the game, despite their domination in the first half. And then, even though when they went 2-0 up, thanks to a goal penalty for Cole Palmer, you think like, okay, that's it, job done, easy peasy for Chelsea. They made some rational mistakes. I mean, the penalty, some of the defending for the second goal. I mean, listen, I don't want to ignore Leeds' efforts, because for them to still be losing 2-0 and still have that, that character and the mentality that they showed to still come back to draw 2-2, then you have to give them a lot of credit. And this draw shows the growth of Leeds United in the last 3-4 months. And it's not the first time they came back in these kind of situations. Liverpool, they were losing 2 goals, and they came back. They were losing to City by 2 goals, and they draw. They nearly got a draw as well. So they're a good team. They're not a team that gives up easily. They are a team that likes to fight until the end, pushes, shows a good mentality, and shows great character. So, and for them, despite they were dominated in the first half, I have to say, by Chelsea, for them to still be in the game was kind of a miracle, I would say, because Chelsea should have put their chances to bed. But when Leeds had their chances, they took it, and they capitalized on Chelsea's mistakes defensively, and they managed to get a decent point at Stamford Bridge, and an important point, especially in the fight to stay and avoid relegation, because now they are 6 points clear of West Ham. So yeah, very good point for Leeds. But for Chelsea, I mean, they should have won this game easily. The two mistakes they did defensively for the 2 goals, I mean, that was kamikaze, poor defending from Chelsea, which shows again, like, even though they won a couple of games under Liam Senior, the problems that they still have is still there. The goalkeeper and the defensively is still there. So yeah, they still have those problems. Listen, going forward, they're a very good team, even though they don't put always their chances away. They're a very good team to watch, but defensively they're awful. And then towards the end, I mean, how can Cole Palmer miss that? I mean, it was 2 inches away. 2 inches away from the goal. How can you miss that? I mean, 99 times out of 1,000, as Liam Shine said, he scores. But come on, how can you miss that chance? I know he scored from the penalty, but he should score now. A top quality player like Cole Palmer, as we expect him to be, the quality that he has, the talent that he has, he should score, and he didn't do that. So yeah, big missed opportunity for Chelsea, considering they were good chance, having good chances. They were winning 2-0, and they were doing really well, in control, and they threw that away for nothing. So yeah, and they should have won it at the end with Cole Palmer. But yeah, very disappointing. 2 points dropped for Chelsea, as it could have been a good opportunity to capitalize, especially United dropped points, so it was like a good opportunity for Chelsea to win, to go up to 4th and go above United, but Chelsea didn't capitalize on it. Bournemouth beat Everton 2-1, very good win for Bournemouth. I mean, Bournemouth have started to get their form back on track, considering they have had a difficult couple of months in terms of their form, and lots of losses. But their form is starting to get back on track. Then beating the last 4 games, beating Liverpool, beating Wolves, draw with Villa, and now they beat Everton. So yeah, well done to Bournemouth. Newcastle United beat Tottenham 2-1, a very important win for the Eddie Howe side, considering they've had a difficult number of weeks, number of months. Number of weeks I should say, not months, but the last couple of months where they've been a difficult run of form, and for them to get back to win ways was very, very important against the Tottenham side, who've been absolutely hopeless. But Newcastle won a lot thanks to a goal from Joe Willock. However, it was still over VAR. But then 4 minutes later, before half time, they managed to score and get the lead from Malik Theo. Archie Gray equalised for Tottenham in the 64th minute. However, Newcastle responded after that 68th minute from the winning goal from Jacob Ramsey. And you have to give credit to Newcastle because sometimes when these kind of things go against you, it's how they respond. They had the disallowed goal, and then 4 minutes later they scored. They conceded the goal from Archie Gray, then 4 minutes later they scored. So you have to give credit to Newcastle. Well, not only did it was an important win, and they had to, and I think they deserve to win, but also like so when things are going against you, how they're going to cope with that. And I think Newcastle did really well, even though it's much easier if I'm being very honest. If I'm being very honest against a poor Tottenham side, but very important win for Newcastle and a very important win for Eddie Howe. He seemed a bit emotional, I would say, in the press conference. I don't know why, but yeah. But now his team is now 9 points behind the top 4, which is a big task. 8 points behind top 5. European places he's not far away. He's only 3 points behind, so they can get Europe. Newcastle Champions League football, no. The Carabao Cup, the hour. The Champions League, I mean, who knows what they can do. They should be Carabao, but who knows what they can do after that. And then FA Cup is a toss of a coin, and they've got Aston Villa away, which is a tricky one. So, yeah, but for Tottenham, I mean, what a shambles. What a shambles. I mean, they're 16th in the Premier League, and they're only 5 points clear of relegation zone. They're only 5 points clear. And there's always this kind of narrative and this theme that people like to say, oh, there are teams that are too good to go down. No. You're never too good to go down. You're never too good to go down. I mean, Leeds United, the quality of the players they had, I think all those years ago, I think 2004, 2003, they went down. And a couple of seasons before that, they reached the Champions League semi-final. You know? You're never too good to go down. Never. Newcastle United, I think with Rafa Benitez, they went down. So, This Premier League is a really difficult league to play in, and every game is physical. Every game is going to be challenges, and every game is tough. There are no easy games in the Premier League. No easy games in the Premier League anymore, and you're never too good to go. Yes, Tottenham, they are, they won the Europa League last season. They finished in the top 4 in the league phase of the Champions League, even though some of the fixtures they had was kind of favourable, I would say. But for you, I mean, yes, yes, this Tottenham side can be so bad, and they can be, they can do well in Champions League, they can do well in Europa League, but be bad in Premier League. But for them to be 16th position and only 5 points clear of relegation zone, I'm sorry, that's unacceptable. That's beyond unacceptable. That's more than unacceptable. They've lost 11 games this season. That's more than unacceptable. More than unacceptable. It's disgraceful. And I mean, I'm sorry, but Thomas Frank should. When I hear Tottenham fans say, "Oh, he should get the sack," I more than agree with their opinion. I more than agree. I completely agree. Because, like, when you listen, and people say, "Oh, but Ange Postecoglou finished Spurs last season 17th." Yeah, but some reason of it was because his team put all eggs on one basket, and that was for the Europa League. And considering the injuries they had, and I think that was after they got knocked out of the Carabao Cup, FA Cup in the same week, where he knew he had to go all eggs on basket, put all eggs on basket for Europa League. So some of it was why they finished 17th was because they had to focus on Europa League. I think that with the quality they had, I don't think they were not a team that deserved to finish 17th. Like, they would have at least finished 11, 12, 13, something like that. But this Tottenham side, there is no distractions. There's no way of we could put all eggs on one basket. They're out of the Carabao Cup, they're out of the FA Cup. You have the Premier League. Yeah, people say, but they could put all eggs in one basket for the Champions League. You telling me they're going to win the Champions League then? This team? Come on. I mean, they have to prove their league form. And by the way, the next game in the Premier League is the Champions League is a month now. In the next month. So it's not like, oh, they next week they're going to play Champions League and they're going to have to rest players. No, 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 no. Like, it's unacceptable the way this Tottenham side are performing. Yes, Tottenham are not a team that is known for being so successful as the likes of Manchester United, Manchester City, Chelsea, Arsenal. Not much Arsenal in terms of trophies, but I mean in terms of competing and in terms of being up there, and Liverpool as well. But this Tottenham side, yes, they won the Europa League, but for you to be 17th last season, and this season to be 16th after 26 games, and 5 points clear of the relegation zone, it's unacceptable. Unacceptable. He's done a really poor job, Thomas Frank. Really, really poor job. Such a poor job. Really poor. And he deserves huge amounts of criticism. I mean, in his interview, he looked like he wanted to punch the interviewer, but I'm sorry, you and the fans were singing sacked in the morning. I'm sorry, but when you have this kind of results, and when you're managing a team like Tottenham to be 16th, I'm sorry, then you deserve all the criticism you get. So, yeah. Now, let's move on to West Ham against Manchester United. Manchester United run of games of winning 4 games in a row and potentially 5 ended as they drew to West Ham 1-1. West Ham took the lead in the 15th minute from Thomas Souček, and you think like, okay, West Ham are gonna, snatch a win here, because I think it was quite. I don't think there was much in between both sides. I have to say, because before Souček scored, because I thought West Ham were looking good, they were organised, and they, I don't think Man United were that great. But when Thomas Souček scored, and you think like, okay, how are United going to respond here? And I felt like they responded quite well. 40 minutes later, they score from Casemiro. It's allowed by VAR because it was offside, right decision. And then they equalised towards the end before the end from Benjamin Šeško. So, yeah, not a bad result for United, and could have been worse. And listen, yes, you should beat a team like West Ham, but with the qualities that United have compared to West Ham. But West Ham are a good team. They've improved under Nuno. They're fighting for relegation. They're fighting for their lives. Every game is going to be difficult in the Premier League. Yeah, even if you win against Man City and Arsenal, doesn't mean you're going to beat West Ham. So, yeah, I don't think it's a terrible point for United, but I don't think they were that great. So, some things to be improved in terms of how they want to play from their side. So, yeah, because I hear pundits saying that a couple of months ago United would have lost 2-3-0. Yeah, I would agree. I'd agree. I think this United side is more different in terms of character and how they cope with setbacks now. So, because especially against Arsenal, where they conceded the equaliser from Moreno, 3 minutes later, boom, fantastic goal from Cunha. So they are coping with setbacks better, that's for sure. So yeah, it's not a bad point. Considering Chelsea dropped points, it's not a terrible point. They're still in pole position for that top 4 race. 1 point clear of Chelsea, so yeah. I mean, you're not going to win every single game, so you're not going to win every single game. So I think sometimes if you're not going to win, it's better to take a point, and I think United did that okay, but they have a chance to bounce back in the next game against Everton away, which will be a tricky one. So yeah, but for West Ham, yeah, it's kind of damning because they was that close to winning 1-0. And I thought they defensively they were looking very, very good, but a win was snatched away from them because, a great moment, I have to say, brilliance, a bit of brilliance from Šeško as well, great header. So, yeah. Let's move on to Coppa Italia as Napoli against Como. Como beat Napoli on penalties and they go through to the semi-finals of the Coppa Italia. Congratulations to Como. I mean, Cesc Fabregas, the job he's done at Como is absolutely brilliant. You have to give him a lot of credit. They're fighting for European places. I think, where are they in the Serie A? I want to check. They're 6th. So they're doing really well in Serie A, and now they're semi-finals of a cup competition. They're having a fantastic season. Cesc Fabregas is doing a very, very good job. So well done to him. But for Napoli, I mean, their difficult season continues. I mean, they're not going to win the league, they're out of the cup and they're out of the Champions League. So, yeah, it's been a very difficult season for Antonio Conte and for Napoli. Let's move on to today's games.